You know that feeling when a tiny little annoyance suddenly blows up and feels like the end of the world? Ever wonder what's actually going on in your brain in that moment? Well, today, we're going inside that command center to explore the incredible science of how we manage our feelings.
I mean, we've all been there, right? That overwhelming wave of anger that just washes over you, or that sudden, deep pang of sadness that seems to come out of absolutely nowhere. The whole process of managing those feelings, of turning the volume up or down, is what we're diving into today. And it turns out it's not some mystery. It's a skill we can actually understand.
So there's a name for this. Scientists call it emotion regulation, or ER for short. And as you can see, it's not just about pushing down the bad stuff. Nope. It's also about amplifying the good feelings, savoring those moments of joy. And what's really fascinating is that our brains are often doing this on autopilot, working behind the scenes to keep us on an even keel. And why should you care about this? Well, because getting this right has some huge payoffs. We're not talking small stuff. We're talking a greater sense of well-being every single day, performing better at your job, having stronger relationships with people you care about, and even getting a boost to your physical health. It is for sure a cornerstone of a healthy, happy life.
Okay, so how does the brain actually pull all of this off? To figure that out, our first stop is deep inside the brain's emotional headquarters, the limbic system.
I want you to think of the limbic system as this bustling, high-tech command center. It's this whole network of structures tucked away deep in your brain, and they're all working together 24/7 to process your world and basically orchestrate how you feel, what you remember, and what drives you to do things. And inside this command center, you've got a whole team of specialists. Each part has a really distinct job. You've got the hippocampus, which is kind of like the memory archivist, filing everything away. Then there's the amygdala, our little threat detector, always on the lookout. The hypothalamus keeps your body in balance, and the thalamus acts as the main sensory relay station. But the one we're going to zero in on today is that last one, the cingulate gyrus, the great integrator of it all.
Yeah, that last one, the cingulate gyrus or cingulate cortex, that's our main event. You can think of it as the master connector, a crucial bridge in your brain's emotional universe. Let's zoom in and see exactly how it works.
This area is in the perfect spot to connect what you're feeling, say a sense of anxiety, with what you're doing, like maybe avoiding a big presentation, and what you remember from the last time you were in a similar spot. It's constantly weaving these different streams of information together to create one coherent emotional picture. And this is where you see the brain's incredible efficiency at play. The cingulate cortex literally splits its work in two. The front part, called the ACC, is like the results desk. It processes the outcome of our actions. The back part, the PCC, is like the action reporter. It keeps track of the specific things we did. So one part is asking, what happened? And the other is asking, what did I do to make that happen?
But wait, it gets even more specialized. It's pretty amazing. Within that what happens center, the ACC, the brain actually has different teams for handling the good news and the bad news.
Okay, check this out. There's a lower part, the pregenial area, that lights up for all the pleasant things, like the amazing taste of your favorite food. But right above it, a different area, the supracallosal, kicks into gear for the unpleasant stuff, like physical pain or the disappointment of not getting something you wanted. It's a dedicated, hardwired system just for processing life's ups and downs.
So we have these two separate signals, the action we took and the outcome we got. How does the brain put them together? Well, this connection is the absolute core of how we learn from our experiences and, not make the same mistake twice.
It all works like a beautiful feedback loop. So, step 1, the ACC sends the outcome report. Hey, we touched a hot stove. That was bad. Step 2, the PCC reports the action, and here's the exact arm movement we made to do it. Step 3, the midcingulate cortex, which sits right in the middle, connects those two dots. And finally, in step 4, the brain forges that link. This action leads to that painful outcome, and that's what helps you avoid doing it next time. And this really sums up the whole process perfectly. As researcher Edmund T. Rolls puts it, this is how the brain performs action-outcome learning. The lesson that gets learned is then sent directly to the parts of the brain that control our muscles. It's literally a direct pathway from learning to doing. Okay, I know that was some pretty deep neuroscience. But what's the real-world takeaway from all this? Why does understanding this incredibly complex wiring actually matter in our day-to-day lives? Well, it matters a whole lot, because when this system gets out of tune, the consequences can be really serious.
We see these exact circuits struggling in disorders like depression and anxiety. And researchers have even linked dysfunction in the cingulate gyrus to conditions like schizophrenia and OCD. So you see, understanding this wiring isn't just a cool science fact. It's absolutely vital for finding better ways to diagnose and treat mental health conditions.
Which leaves us with a really powerful final thought. If our ability to regulate our emotions is a skill, one that's physically hardwired into these specific brain circuits, well, it raises a fascinating question, doesn't it? Can we actively train these circuits? Can we actually get better at managing our emotions by strengthening the very connections we've just explored? Now that is something to think about.